Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll's Pop Culture with the Weekly Comic Book with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've covered this week's Marvel books, and now it's on to this week's DC books. Once again, I apologize for any additional noises that my chair might end up making over the course of this video. It's going to have to be replaced soon. It's bits and pieces fell off of it last night, and yeah, that probably not a good thing. Anyway, kicking things off, we've got Detective Comics number 1053, continuing the weekly Shadows of the Bat storyline. Where we left off, Psycho Pirate briefly lost control of the inmates of Arkham Tower, and he basically made them go to sleep. Dr. Frau, actually Batwoman, was let go from the from the tower, and Dr. Meridian was forced to call Dr. Frau and explain. And say she had no idea. Apparently, a gas main broke, and she freaked out. So she's not sure why she sent the voicemail about what was going on to her. And the Bat Squad realized that the party crashers were potentially moving their product through the sewers, and it attacked them and took them down. So yeah. The party crashers were busted and ended up getting arrested. Ware arranges to pay their bail, though they're kind of thinking they want to be done with him. Ware goes to speak to the Penguin, and basically saying, yes, I do owe you money, but I've run into some trouble with some bats. And tries to work out of taking care of them. Turns out one of the orderlies at the tower, caught a video of recorded a video of the fight, the mess hall fight with all of the inmates when Psycho Pirate lost control and is leaving Arkham Tower, and is deciding to turn the video over to the press. However, before the Doctor can respond, the party crashers mug him. But as they're leaving, he explains that about the woman who worked at the tower, and one of the crashers is waiting on her. However, she fights back and runs, and Batgirl knocks the crasher on his ass, but further scares the shit out of the former tower employee. Deb Donovan talks with Batwoman, and apparently after she was attacked, the former tower employee basically just texted Deb that she was attacked. Doesn't know how anyone got her address, but asked Donovan not to contact her again. And they're trying to figure things out about what to do now. Dick, in his disguise as one of the orderlies, talks about the one who just quit, or who apparently just vanished. Finds out that the rumor going around is that she saw something, like what happened to the guy in the ICU? Was Nero 19? Concussion, sprained wrist, solid black eye. Later, Dick goes to talk to Huntress. And asks if she remembers anything, but she might remember something, but she's not sure. Dick notices some blood on her floor, and so her bed is moved. So it says his hold is breaking. And Dick begins to wonder, okay, whose hold is breaking? But he contacts Oracle. They run through the usual mind control suspects: Grodd, Max Lord, Despero. But Nightwing decides he's going to have another look around, and so he goes to the top floor. Meanwhile, one of the party crashers have realized that somehow the bats shouldn't have found them. They would have to have been there. And so they start looking around the tunnels, and they find the satellite cave. And at the tower, Dick stumbles upon the office of Dr. Ocean, only to discover that Dr. Ocean is in fact the Psycho Pirate. While that's going on, party crashers show up at the Bat Cave with high capacity rifles, in the hopes of dropping a few of the Bat family. Meanwhile, Psycho Pirate declares his control over Dick, which is where our A story ends. Which brings us to our B story, House of Gotham, Part 7. Where we left off, the boy had been remanded to Arkham Asylum after being briefly adopted by the Penguin and being busted, and then being arrested with all of Penguin and his gang after one of the others working with the Penguin had told Jason Todd that they were assassins for the Kingpin, or for the Penguin. At Arkham, he's getting by. Starts with him playing cards with Clayface, Grundy, and Man-Bat, when something happens. That something appears to be Bane's attack on Arkham during nightfall. Everyone leaves, except the boy. Clayface suggests the boy get out of there, and the boy says he doesn't have anywhere else to go. And Clayface says, okay, well, that's fine, but, when you do make it out, come find me. Enter Bane. Who kills one of the guards and then gives the boy the guard's sidearm. The boy walks through the burning remnants of Arkham and tries to sneak up on one of the other guards, gun in hand, but he lowers it, and the guard's about to kill the boy when Zaz kills the guard. Bane finds the two of them as Zaz is about to kill the boy, and suggests that Zaz fight the boy unarmed. Bane pulls Zaz off the boy eventually, and the boy gets up and does leave the asylum. Starts asking around, asking questions of people, hiding from the police. And he runs into Elliot. But he tells Elliot he needs his help. Getting out of Gotham. He needs a chance to start over. That is where the issue ends. Both stories in Detective since beginning of Shadows of Batman have been great. Yeah. Now, it doesn't definitively state that the breakout was the one caused by Bane, but I'm kind of just putting two and two together with House of Gotham, because it was an Arkham breakout and Bane showed up, which kind of hints that it is the Nightfall breakout. For those unaware, in the beginning of the Nightfall, Bane, in an attempt to test Batman, fired a rocket at the side of Arkham Asylum, basically letting everyone out, which pushed Batman to his limits before being confronted by Bane. But yeah, moving on to our next book, we've got Nightwing number 89. The goings on in Nightwing are that Dick Grayson started a charitable foundation in Alfred's name with the money he inherited from Alfred, and he has a target on his head now as Dick Grayson, not just as Nightwing. So the issue begins with a flashback. Batman and Nightwing looking for something. They end up in a cave, and two energy blasts come out of it. In the cave is none other than John Kent, Superboy. Batman lets Superman know that they found John, and Dick gives John one of the lollipops that Batman keeps in his utility belt. Clark thanks Bruce, and Bruce says, explains that, Clark's had to track down his fair share of Robins, and Clark asks Bruce if he ever stopped worrying about them. And he says, not for a single second. He added that he doesn't think any parent does. Even adding that Alfred says he still sometimes pokes his head in when he's sleeping to check if Bruce is breathing. But what it all boils down to is, in the end, though, Clark states that he's afraid. He's now worried. He's not sure what worries him more, that when it comes to the lollipops, that which is the pouch next to smoke bombs, that Bruce is going to accidentally offer a smoke bomb to a child, or that he's going to throw a lollipop at the Joker and try to vanish. So at the Fortress of Solitude, John Kent, now older, is talking with a holographic simulacrum of his father. Explaining there was a creature attacking Metropolis. John turned around, but people died. And tries to point out that, sure, some people died, but more people lived because of what John did. Though John just kind of does point out that people aren't numbers. Lives aren't numbers. But Kellex sees John's distress and goes to Bloodhaven. And is promptly attacked by Nightwing as Kalex went to go see Nightwing. Nightwing threw a screaming stick at him, which Kalex says that he dropped that in his direction, or he dropped it fast in his direction. But apparently Kal-El asked Kalex to seek out Nightwing if Jonathan needed him, and he thinks that John does. And Dick kind of, I should have done this already. I should have checked in on him already. So, the group that John and his boyfriend work for, Truth, is meeting with an investor. And of course, they are appearing masked, hide their identities. Turns out the investor is Dick Grayson. But Dick says that it's hard to trust information that comes from a masked person, and John says that, that Gotham can't take it off. And it's not about him, someone close to him is in danger. They would be under more threat if he were to reveal himself. And then two others involved with Trust show up, and turns out that the superhero named Risk was killed the previous night. Dick kind of excuses himself and whispers to Superman, I know you can hear me. Meet me at the crime scene. They realize that whoever killed Risk never touched the ground because no footprints. And a couple others metahumans were killed in similar fashions in other places in the world. An empath was killed in Brazil, and a telekinetic was thrown out of the sky in Spain. Someone's murdering superpowered people. John Kent follows the energy trail, and, it leads where everything bad leads in Metropolis. LexCorp, or more particularly, Luthor. And that is where the issue ends. Part 2 will be in, I guess, the upcoming Superman Man of Tomorrow, number 9. But good issue. I'm looking forward to seeing how it works. How sort of I like Tom Taylor's Superman, John Kent Superman as well. Never really been a big Superman fan, but Taylor writes him well. I like it. Moving on to our next book, we've got Robin's number 4. Where we left off. After finding their gauntlets and trying to figure out how to save them, Tim Drake basically said, "No, what? We're not going to save them. I'm not going to help. I'm not going to try to save them," and left, making the revelation that Tim Drake was actually in the hands of had been captured by the first Robin, and she was impersonating him. So most of those issues narrated by Anarchy, but Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin are all trying to figure out where Tim Drake is, and they're all looking for him, thinking for Anarchy, thinking he might know. Tim manages to get loose from his bindings, gets some information about his captor, who claims she's Jenny Wren. And to claim to be the first Robin. In downtown Gotham the next day, Bruce Wayne is dedicating a new clinic, from an old county corrections building to a children's mental health facility and a hospital. But Bruce sees someone and kind of stumbles over his words. We learn that there were, between Gotham and Bloodhaven, are miles of abandoned subway tunnels that would have connected the two cities. But missed payments to corrupt officials meant the tunnels became nothing but a rotting home to rats, cockroaches, and bats. But Robin, Red Hood, and Nightwing catch up with Anarchy. And spoiler stops them from doing anything they might regret. And she talked to one of the that she had talked to one of the Anarchy cultists to figure out what was going on. Damien listens to her and figures out exactly what's happened. When Tim threw away the staunch beliefs of morality and instance of rage, Dick and Jason had wondered. They served as a poor role model, making their life up till now. Question their own actions, if their actions were solely something good, if they were staying on a pure legacy. Because he asked the same questions too. But he explains the question that he should have been asking was, where was Tim Drake going? So they go back to Nightwing's apartment, and Stephanie brings up her new evidence. Something in her eyes caught Stephanie's attention. But turns out they've been part of a fan board for the video game Puppy Larceny and its creator Cormac Dodge. Hidden the inside of a stuffed puppy, Stephanie found a box addressed to her from Eldon Shaw, Mr. Neg. But basically it allows it's basically kind of a fully immersive virtual experience. So the only way to figure out where Tim Drake is to go in, as there are four sticks in. 4 data sticks inside the box. So Batman, meanwhile, is trying to figure out what's going on as well, and he needs to do so on his own. But turns out that there was one for Tim as well that Jenny Wren had and put him into. Made him think he was sending him a distress call to Bruce and his friends. Nightwing goes in and wakes up back during his spy days with Huntress as seems to be Huntress as his partner, and she's sitting in a chair by next to the bed in the hotel room. The sniper will point out the window, and that is where the issue ends. I'm really enjoying this book too. It's a good issue. Should be wrapping up, I think, with one more issue. But anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Batman: The Night, #2. Where we left off, a young Bruce Wayne left Gotham to try and find his way, and ending up in Paris. The issue begins with a man coming home and finding seemingly his family dead. But Bruce spent the last 2 weeks training with the world's greatest fencer and has since beaten him. But he sees something outside in the night and goes to check it out. It appears to be a French cat burglar. The next day, Bruce encounters her at the coffee shop he tends to eat at. They talk. She already picked his pocket for his phone. And he talks about what he's trying to do, and he's already realized that if he's going to learn how to stop criminals, he needs to learn from criminals. But the cat burglar says to him that if Bruce wants to learn how to stop her, she'll gladly show him. 10 o'clock that night. And since she now has his number, she'll text him. Meanwhile, the murder from the beginning of the issue is being investigated by the French police, and the Director General called in Henry Ducard to help with the investigation. But he's doing it pro bono, so he's not going to be hanging around the crime scene too much. He's got to focus on paying gigs. But Bruce is told that there should be no environment he can't move through without detection, and no person he can't detect. And so they she says, she points to a building, says, a race. She gives him a head start. However, he falls, but she manages to catch him. They work together a bit, and Bruce also ends up learning how to cook some. But now they're going into the field, breaking into a mansion to steal a box of jewels. However, the police show up. Bruce tries to run and is shot in the leg. but his teacher knocks out the officer and gets Bruce's safety, taking him back home to stitch him up. And we start to kind of see the early fascination with the mission, because he wanted to make sure that the he got the jewelry box out, which led to him being shot. But Bruce ends up kissing his teacher, and it's a simple moment. She apologizes and basically says that Bruce is too young for her. So she goes to get Bruce some clothes and reflects on the kiss, saying if only she could steal years. But turns out. So Bruce goes to look at the jewelry box and sees there's a false bottom. Opening it, and teeth come out, and some teeth fall out. And Ducard has Bruce's current teacher at gunpoint, stating that the two of them are in a world of trouble. And that is where the issue ends. I'm always a fan of takes on the Bat origin, kind of the time leading up to year one. There's been plenty of talk about that time period, and the occasional flashback, but getting a full blown miniseries of focusing on that time period is very nice. Anyway, moving on to our last book for the week, we've got Justice League number 72, which finally combines the Justice League Dark story, backup story, with the Justice League story. It's the start of a new story, not really going into where we left off. But it starts off, Zatanna's had a vision of a potentially possessed and off-the-chain Black Adam. She tells this to Constantine Etrigan and Detective Chimp, then finds out that Fate had a vision, as did Madame Xanadu. Meanwhile, the League is doing their annual charity event, with Oliver Queen having agreed to match every dollar raised at the event. But Adam sees all this. Basically, everyone's got all of them have their fans. But Black Adam flies off, turns to Kahndaq, and there's a woman waiting for him. She explains that she is Xanadoth, Lord of all Chaos, and she needs a physical vessel and a one with power. So she needs Black Adam as her vessel. Zatanna tells the League about the vision she had, and they all head out. But Adam tries to fight Xanadoth, and we see Xanadoth's true form. And there's an entry from the Book of Fate on Xanadoth. Apparently, the name was expunged from histories, and Xanadoth was so powerful that the other Lords of Chaos, as well as the Lords of Order, banded together to exile Xanadoth. But Xanatos does manage to take control of possess Black Adam. Meanwhile, Zatanna's goes to the band of Xanadu, and they find out who it is, Xanadoth, who claims to respect them very much, I might add. Fate and Etrigan are discussing, trying to figure out what's going on, when Naboo basically tells Fate, you guys are on your own. Sorry. Back with Zatanna and Xanadu. They leave Van Xanadu's shop, and Xanados shows them a new trick that they've got. Shouting Shazam and turning into none other than Black Adam. And that is where the issue ends. Okay. To be fair, to be honest, I actually really like Black Adam's face turn. He's had a few in the last couple of decades. It saddens me they never seem to last. Or his post Infinite Crisis face turn. It lasted for most of 52. But then Intergang killed the Black Adam, the rest of the Black Adam family, and so yeah, he slaughtered an entire country, as one does, you know. But yeah, I'm hoping this is actually a much more long-term face turn. I get the feeling that I will admit I'm fairly certain that this face turn of his is because of the upcoming Black Adam movie starring The Rock. So, but anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.